I suck at intros. Hello, I am Brother Francisco Whitaker, and this is All Good in the Brotherhood. For today's episode of Monk Life, I wanted to share, just briefly, some unexpected surprises that I experienced coming into the monastery. That if you had told me when I was applying or considering being a monk would be things that I would experience and have, I would never have guessed. So, the first one is just the kinds of friendships that exist in the monastery. You know, being a student of St. Vincent, I certainly knew some of the monks, and most of the ones I knew were the ones who worked in campus ministry, who were younger guys, and they certainly had a close relationship with each other, but, you know, that makes sense. They're peers. And even seeing them interact with some of the older monks every now and then, you could tell that they had, like, good rapport, but I would never have guessed that there was necessarily a depth of friendship. And you know, my own misconceptions about community life coming in was like, okay, yes, you're living in community here, but you got to be locked in. You got to be really, really focused. You can't let a lot of things outside bother you. You just have to take care of your crap and let, obviously, Christ take care of it with you. But you know, you got to stay in your lane, and there's not going to be nearly as much of that depth with other people necessarily. And I don't really know why I thought that, because I didn't, you know, grow up, you know, thinking and hearing that sharing emotions is bad, or that being vulnerable is something you should shy away from. I just kind of thought that, you know, we're here, we have our prayer, we have our routine, we have our work, and sure, we might interact with each other, you know, to have some fun times, but the depth of friendship wasn't necessarily something that was, you know, super tight necessarily in the monastery. But boy, was I wrong. And not only wrong in that it exists, but that with whom it is. Because some of my closest friends in the monastery are ones who are 30, 40, 50 years older than I am. And the ones who I go to for help, not just for like mentorship or spiritual fatherhood, but just the advice of a friend, are both those who are very close in age and in rank to me, but ones who are far above and far beyond in rank and age. And it's because in the monastery, a lot of those things just kind of go away. While, yeah, sure, there's differences and there's some distinctions that clearly exist, they're not as powerful or as potent as we might see in the world. Because here, we're all one community pursuing Christ. And it has really, really transformed how I understand friendship can be in and of itself, because it's not just with those who are close with, who have a similar ideology, whether it's political, spiritual, whatever, but it is about sharing of hearts, and we can share hearts regardless of with whom it is. So I was just so surprised at the beauty and the depth and the variety of friendship that can exist in the monastery. The second thing that really surprised me was just how intentional the abbot is with each and every one of his monks, and how the monastery itself desires to support each monk singularly, and the opportunities they want to give to the monks to experience the Lord in ministry, mission, in so many ways. I honestly told so many people when I was joining the monastery, because again, I didn't really know what was going on, that like, oh, I don't know if I'll be able to see you again. I'm going to have to stay in that monastery forever. Like, you know, I might get some time on really short vacation. Ministry might allow me to go away every now and then, but I have to stay there. And while parts of that are, yes, definitely true, I have also been given through the monastery opportunities to go to World Youth Day, to go on the Camino, to go on mission at different Catholic summer camps, to be with campus ministry in the college and work with students, to go to parishes and help in their retreats or festivals, to visit families and friends. I played rugby when I was a monk, which that was wild. If any of you have actually noticed, if I don't really do this very often, but I hold my hand up sideways, you can see actually this finger here like won't straighten. It's because I got it dislocated playing rugby as a monk. And the monastery supported that. I thought that was wild. I kind of came out of nowhere. But the monastery and the abbot himself wants to support the individual, because if you treat everyone like a business or a company here, someone's going to get lost, right? We're not cogs in a machine. We might feel like that at some times, sure. But that's when we have kind of distanced ourselves from the life of the community. If we're engaged and we let ourselves be loved and seen as the abbot does, it blows me away how intentional the abbot and the community is with each individual monk. So that was something I was never expecting, and it's been such a gift. And the third thing that has really surprised me, and has surprised them as well, is how the monastery has just brought my whole family into the community. When I was received into the novitiate and the very beginning of my vocation here, the abbot says, when we accept a brother, we accept his entire family. And that is something I have seen palatably in my time at St. Vincent, and my family has experienced 100%. My parents come here on retreat. My brothers and sister and nieces and nephew come out here a lot. People know them by name. They love them. They want to spend time with them. It's just, now, there's something very special too about St. Vincent. I'm not necessarily sure how every community does this, right? But here at St. Vincent, family extends to everyone. And, it's so beautiful. When the family member of a monk dies, monks will go from here to their funeral to support the brother and the family member, because it's as if one of my dads or moms or brothers or sisters, aunts and uncles has passed away. And that support that my family received when my grandfather passed away, or when my sister-in-law had a miscarriage, or just different issues or struggles or joys and sorrows in my family, my own immediate family, has been supported by my monastic family. And it just continues to prove to me why God wants me here, because family has been and continues to be like one of the most important things in my entire life. I love my family so much. And how much I still get to be a part of their lives, and how the community wants me to be a part of their life, and how the community itself wants to be part of their lives. Yeah, it's so amazing. Nothing I expected. I remember even telling my dad when I joined the monastery, like, I don't know when I'll be able to call you. It might be months. Like, I hope I'll be able to see you, before I'm like 30. And it was day 4. And my novice master said, hey, did you call your parents yet? And I said, oh, no, I don't know when I would. He said, you need to call your parents. Like, we are not here to cause a division between you and your family. And that's the kingdom of heaven, is the unity that God desires to bring all people. And the monastery extends that out to the family of the monk and says, yes, you can be part of this community too. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with all of you, because it's touched my heart and my time here in the monastery, and it's just so good to share. And for all of you, if there's a family member or a friend who you need to connect with better, surprise them with love. Reach out to them, reconnect with them, make that intentional step. Because as the monastery making intentional steps for me and for my family and in friendship, that has totally changed me. So be that for someone. And if you're interested in coming out to St. Vincent, leave a comment below. Like, share, do all the stuff. Thank you for joining me. I'm Brother Francisco Whitaker. Adios.